Hey YouTube family friends, rev it up. Mustang Fanatic Home Edition, where we spruce up our home. So I got my line, or I dug a straight path over here. So now we're gonna go ahead and scoop it over and dig it out. As you can see, we successfully navigated 18 inches down all the way across. I wasn't concerned about here because over here is nothing but a bunch of sand, and only grass part I had was from here to here. There were no roots to worry about, so I didn't need the power. Some of you may be wondering, why is this wire here? Well, my old receptacle, this was here for my sprinkler head, or my sprinkler unit, and it was mounted to this bolt right here and a hole right there in the siding, and that was my box. My unit was where I control my sprinklers, the on and off cycles and each stage and how long I wanted to run. And I dug that up because I got tired of coming out here 1 o'clock in the morning, turning off the sprinklers because it was going to rain the next 2 days, and this area is just wet. So what I did, I mounted a sprinkler box. There's my sprinkler box right there, and I mounted that in there, and there's all my sprinklers tied into it. And here where the wire comes down underneath out, and I got it tacked along the building, and it's now inside my garage, where we can go take a look later and I'll show you that. So now we're going to get our PVC pipe, measure it, cut down to 18 inches with the elbow on it, run it along there, cut it, elbow it up to the house. So I got my PVC marked where I'm going to cut it, where it's going to be my down tube right here. So I'm not using the PVC cement yet, hot cement, to wax it, because I'm just mocking it up right now. So while I'm walking to the garage, I'll show you. There's the line going up to where I mounted the box inside the garage, and you always want to loop it, silicone it, so when it rains it comes down and drip off the loop. So here's where I mounted my unit. Comes in the wall down there. Got my silicone down there. About once a year I redo the silicone, wired it up inside there, and I have a remote control where I can take it in the house and use it. So now what I'm going to do is get a file, because I didn't have PVC cutters. It's a good idea to bring me some electrical tape too. So I'm gonna get a file and smooth out the edges so I don't get any burrs or any wires shaping. Okay, our mock-up is complete. Here's it to the shed, and there's the trench, and it's going to the house. I mean, I can see areas where I may need to dig just a little more, but I dug a little deeper down there, so I may need to dig right in there a little bit. And I guess it's all right. Looks pretty good. Okay, when I took on the job, I didn't know how much Romex I would need, so I need 66 feet of Romex 14.2 underground wire. I only have 15 feet, so I'm quite short. So I want to take this back to Lowe's and get a 100-foot roll for $53. That way I'll have some extra wire in case I need to do something else that's underground. So we'll go to Lowe's, we'll pick that up. Then we're going to come and we're going to run the wire through the conduit, and then we're going to seal everything up and get everything done. Just came out of Lowe's, and they only had, I think it was 75 feet of 75 feet of 14.2 wire with $121. I wasn't spending that much money, and I did my calculation wrong. I don't need 66 feet. 25 feet will do. So I was trying to find a 50-foot roll or a 25-foot roll, because I got a 10-foot pole that's buried underneath, and the two down pipes, they weren't but maybe 3 feet, and then you include the elbows. The elbows were 1 inch a piece, so you got 10, 13, 16, 18 feet. So I would rather get 25 feet or 25-foot roll. That way I can have some extras to make some pigtails for what I got to do. So I'm going to go to True Value and see if they got 25 feet of 14.2 UF, which is underground wire. Lowe's gave me 14.3 UF rating underground wire. All you have to do is just either use the red at each end or use the black at each end. Which end you ever didn't use, you just cap that off. But I rather stick with the 3 wire, the 12.2, which gives you a white, black, and the copper. 12.3 gives, the 14.2 gives you that black, white, and copper. 14.3 gives you black, red, white, and copper. So we'll head over to True Value and see what we can find. Okay, so when always working with electricity, you want to cut the power to the breaker to what area you're working on. So I'm going to reach in here and cut my power, which is number 2, and then put this tape over here in case my wife comes home. And this is do not open. So we got the power cut off. Now we're going to go to the back. So here's my receptacle tester to see if the power is off, and we stick it in. These 2 lights would be on if it was powered, and it's not powered. And we're going to switch things up. I'm going to turn the receptacle the opposite way because the hot end should be on this side. So I'm going to flip that around once I get in there. Okay, you can see the little black waterproof seal that I put around the back. Now we're going to bolt this up, and then I got to run a pigtail from that ground to that ground and run my 14.2 underground wire in here before I glue everything up. Okay, I'm feeding the Romex through the line, and I'm making sure I stay in one direction, pulling through in separate pieces, separating the joint as I do it. And you can see it coming up and going inside the RL and coming inside. And what I want to do is measure 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches to bring my wire in. So I'll be coming through this junction box right here from my L right here. So I got myself, I'd like to tuck it back in there and leave myself 6 to 8 inches right here. And my wire cutter from yellow orange to the end is about 6 inches right here, 7 inches. So I got about 7 inches that I left out. But what I want to do with this wire is bring it through here. I'm going to drill a hole through here and bring the wire in and down. Now, I got the other end of this box open for my other Romex, because this is my junction box, and I'm going to run that up over to the light switch once I finish up outside. So I got enough room right there. I'm satisfied with that. And that part is called rough wiring your box. Okay, I did a practice run on cutting this 14-2 underground sheathing off and pulling the wires apart. Long as you go across this top center line, you'll stay on the ground and you won't damage the black or the white wire, and then you can pull them apart and the sheathing pulls apart. I already started to make my pigtail, so I can hook this ground to that one, and then this will go back into the box on the back of that. So I might need a third pigtail. Yeah, I'm gonna need 3 pigtails. I'm gonna take and use push-in clips with this, and then the third pigtail is gonna go to the back of that receptor there. Once you get the sheathing pulled, you're supposed to leave 1/4 to a 1/2 inch right there. So I got my 1/4 to a 1/2 inch mark. So I'm gonna get ready to start my connections, and I'm gonna need I think I'm gonna need 3 pigtails. We'll see what we do. No, just this 1 pigtail I'm gonna need. I'll show you when I'm finished. So the load side is coming from my underground 14-2 wire. Okay, your silver, white, your brass is going to be your black, your hot. Now this is going to be my load side. So this is what's going to run down there and run power to the shed. Okay, we got the GFCI all wired up, and we had to, like I said, MacGyver, cut out a little piece of the siding here, cut out a little piece of this little soffit here, so this pole can go back in here better. So now that I got this in all set, I can take and go ahead and start gluing these together, because the wires are already through. So I'm gonna start gluing that now. Since those wires are not frayed or not touching, I can go ahead and do a check to see if I got that hooked up right. So I'll turn the power on, stick this in, and see if those are hooked up correctly. So let's test our circuit. Two yellow, top is good, bottom is good, top is good. So we're all set. Tripped it. Now the power is off. Set the breaker. Power's back on. So we're straight right there. So let's shut the power off so we can go back and do the Now I want to reassure myself that I did hit the right breaker to shut it off. No power. No power. Okay, so power is off. And this is one of them tamper resistant, water resistant ones. So that's why it's hard to stick this in. So now we're gonna pull the lines apart, glue them, let them dry, and we're gonna work on that inside the shed and route something we're gonna use. We're gonna hook that to the junction box inside there. Now we got it all broken apart on each end. Now we're gonna use our PVC cement glue to glue it in place. Okay, I'm no professional, but you can see some of the glue peel out, but everything is in, connected at all ends, even over here to the box. It's glued in and wired up. So it's been like that for about 7 or 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go inside and do some rough wiring here and let that dry. I'm gonna mark the locations where I want to put my outlets. There's two 1 gain boxes I got to put up, and so we'll start routing that. And I need to turn the power on because I'm going to have to drill through here so I can bring that down here. So while my cement PVC hot stuff is sealing itself and bonding itself, I got one receptacle here, and it's in the middle, and it's between 9.5 inches on both sides. And I send it this one the same way. It's 9.5 inches on both sides. So now I got one more receptacle. I think I do. I hope I do. I may have to go buy another one. A single pole receptacle. I thought I had an extra one. I guess I don't. I might have thought I had an extra one and used that as a junction box, but I have a single pole light switch right here that I want to add, I guess, down here maybe, or like this right up underneath here. This might be a good location, and that would be for my light that goes on the outside. I have a 3 gain box, but they don't have a cover for a 3 gain box, so I'm deciding to mount the light switch somewhere else that powers the, what do you call that, the floodlights, so the lights will come on if any activities in the backyard at night. Okay, we're done out here, except for the simple fact that I have the 1/2 inch clamps. I gotta get some sheet metal screws, put about 3 clamps in that side, and put about 4 clamps in that side, and that'll conclude the outside. So we're done with the outside. So we need to start cutting holes and doing some rough wiring here. Well, I finished my roughing my boxes. Okay, once again, that's power coming from the outdoor GFCI or GFCI all-weather outbox. That's the 14.2 underground wire. Anytime you're going underground, anywhere a place is wet, you have to use UF ground, underground wire. It could be 14.2, 14.3, it could be 12.2, 12.3. Long as it's rated UF, is underground. That would be bathrooms, kitchens, anywhere with water, sockets, receptacles that are outside. Once you come inside the building, then you can switch over. So I got my junction box here, which I'm going to tie in to my 14.2 Romex wire here. So I got that roughed in and hang it out. And this comes over here, over the doorway, drilled holes through the center and come up over the doorway, came down through the existing holes, stapled through the existing holes, stapled, and I got it rough box. Now we're here, I'm going to use the waggles. I'm going to need 3 grounds, 3 grounds and 1 pigtail. So I'm gonna have the waggle. I got the 4-pin waggle. I'm gonna push the 4 grounds in, and then all I have to do is ground it to the receptacle, because everything else is going to be grounded. So I want to need those 3 down there, and off those 3 I'm going to have 3 pigtails, 1 ground for this, no, 2 pigtails, 1 ground for this and 1 ground for that, and the rest is going to be waggled inside there. And of course, this is the home run wire coming in from the underground wire, so that's going to power this right here, and then this side is going to power the shelf light over here, And because this is already hooked, the light switch is gonna run off of this as well. And here's my other electrical receptacle coming in from over here. That's the end of the line right there. That's why there's only one receptacle there. So that crosses over here. So I'm gonna have to have a 3-pin WAGO and come out with one ground wire, and then pigtail for the neutral, pigtail for the hot, and connect it to the receptacle. And no pigtails, just your hot to the hot side, and your white, which is common, to the other side, and then ground that, and that'll complete the circuit. So that's what we're going to work on tomorrow. So we got everything ran in here. That wire is live. That's why I got it taped off. So nothing's going to bother that. So we're good to go. And I tell you what, kudos to these guys that wire whole houses. This is just the shed, and it's a lot of wiring to run, and a lot of things to do with making sure it's up to code and everything. As far as stapling the box, I think like an inch, ½ inch from the boxes, you got to have them stapled. So I got them all stapled where they're supposed to be stapled. I still have to staple it across here though. I didn't staple it across here yet, but I'm gonna get to that. Put staples across that. So I got everything within code, and if we want, everything can be sheetrock still, because I drilled the hole here and went up along the rafters and put the staples in over there. And then you see where I come in, drilled the hole right there, and I got the steel come within a ½ inch on each, ½ inch on that side of the box and that side of the box to staple that up there, so that'll be in place. And you see I got at least 6 to 8 inches on my Romex wires hanging out each socket. This one here is a little short, but that's okay. That's still about almost 5.5 inches. This one is extra long, but we're getting there. So tune in tomorrow. God bless.